Donald Trump yesterday took a Fiasco field trip to Texas to brag, I guess, about coronavirus and also to brag about how he's supporting coal and oil and fracking, all things we should actually be making obsolete rather than trying to do more of. It was really the stuff of nightmares. I'm going to run through it. I watched it live so that you didn't have to, although about 20,000 people did watch it live with me on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. But here are some of the lowlights. And again, this is just a reminder that we cannot have this in the White House. This has to be cleansed. I don't know if we can use bleach or isopropyl to cleanse it, but we somehow do need to remove this. Now, if you're watching along with me, you're going to notice in these videos that Donald Trump is particularly sweaty and extra orange. It is Texas after all, and I understand it was very, very hot there. It's become super clear to me that psychologically these events where Trump, will tour a factory or a business and then he'll rant to a hand-picked group of sycophants. These have become sort of placeholders for the big rallies that Trump would like to be doing to boost his ego, but he can't realistically do right now because of the virus. Now, Donald Trump did have one of what I would call these major glitches where he interrupts a word right in the middle of the word and sort of has to reset his brain. It happened in the middle of a word I actually can't identify. Maybe you can. Let's take a look.
We are now at the strongest point militarily we've ever been due to I'll tell you, Ted, where is Ted? He was a big leader in this. Stand up again, Ted.
These glitches have become very frequent recently, but only one such glitch during yesterday's event. Donald Trump later complained that Joe Biden's climate plan is too aggressive, which is like, well, that's great. Let's be aggressive. I want to see that. And during this part of the rant, Donald Trump referred to the year 2030, which is a milestone year for Joe Biden's climate plan. He referred to it as the year 230, which is, of course, a long time ago.
Seeking an even higher level of restrictions mandating net zero carbon emissions, which frankly is impossible, for all new homes, offices, and buildings by 2030. Not possible to do. And if you ever did it, it would cost so much that your home would be valueless.
As I listen to Trump rattle off what Biden wants to do, I'm reassured by it. I think that's great. Let's try to do it. Maybe we can't, but I want to be, Trump is doing the opposite. Trump's rolling back restrictions on polluting. He's rolling back vehicle emissions, vehicle efficiency and emissions standards. Emissioncy. I kind of like that portmanteau. I want a guy who maybe is going to try to do too much, and maybe we don't get there, but let's try to do it. Trump criticizing that. Donald Trump also praised Texans during this event as loving America so much that they couldn't breathe, which is kind of weird imagery given everything that's going on with the I can't breathe protests and what happened with George Floyd being choked to death. Let's take a look at this bizarre moment.
Generations of Texas oil workers before you gave every last bit of sweat and heart and grit that they had to build up this country. They loved our country. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe.
Donald Trump also kept accusing Joe Biden in recent weeks of dementia. Here again, Donald Trump couldn't even say Minneapolis.
Very quickly, just like we did in Minneapolis and just like we will do another place.
So Minneapolis, Ulysses S. Grant talking about plasma instead of plasma. Trump's having no shortage of problems himself. And then maybe the most sort of notable policy related claim that Trump made yesterday is, again, this just ridiculous talking point that Joe Biden wants to end the suburbs, but Donald Trump is going to save them. And this is actually just the dog whistle stuff we've become accustomed to. I'll explain it after we look at the clip.
That's not going to happen. And by the way, I just ended the rule on suburbs. The suburbs, people fight all of their lives to get into the suburbs and have a beautiful home. There will be no more low-income housing forced into the suburbs. I abandoned and took away and just rescinded the rule. It's been going on for years. I've seen conflict for years. It's been hell for suburbia. We rescinded the rule 3 days ago. So enjoy your life, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your life.
So this is really bad. It's first of all, this is a racially tinged dog whistle. No low income people invading the suburbs is reminiscent of the black folks moving in next door stuff of the 1950s and 60s and prior eras. It's just complete racially tinged red meat for his followers. Secondly, Trump doesn't even really seem to understand what he did. He says he rescinded a rule. Now, what he's talking, he doesn't even know what he's talking about, but I'll tell you what he's talking about. There's a 2015 rule, the Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing Rule, okay? AFFH. And it requires local governments, if they're getting federal funding, they have to study racial bias in housing patterns and have a plan to address it. That's all. Like, it's so milquetoast. It's so almost nothing. If you get money, you have to study racial bias in housing. And if you determine there is racial bias, you have to address it. That's all it does. And Trump is now claiming to be some kind of hero for rescinding it. It's just racist red meat. That's all it is. And Trump tweeted something similar earlier in the day about it, widely derided as despicable, saying, quote, "I am happy to inform all of the people living their suburban lifestyle dream," capitalized, by the way, "that you will no longer be bothered or financially hurt by having low-income housing built in your neighborhood. Your housing prices will go up based on the market and crime will go down. I have rescinded the Obama-Biden AFFH rule. Enjoy. This is complete and total red meat." He has now gone on to say we should look at delaying the presidential election. This is an ignorant, delusional, narcissistic, authoritarian nightmare. There's very little more to say. It just has to end in November. We've all got to vote. That we know the solution. We don't have, it's not like one of these complex problems where we say, we've identified a problem, but figuring out a solution is really tough. What could we possibly do? Voting starts in 4.5 weeks in some states. We're 3 months almost to the day, 3 months plus a few days from we know what to do. We have the solution. There is no greater power than having a problem and knowing the solution. Let's now actually carry it out. Make sure you're following the David Pakman Show on Instagram at David Pakman Show, and follow me on Instagram at david.pakman. Check out recent pictures of completely safe, socially distant beach going that I did. Shocking to many people. Yes, I do have legs, although they are not ever visible during the show. Follow me on Instagram at david.pakman for a break from the bad news, as I like to say. One of our sponsors today is Cuts Clothing, offering the most high-quality men's t-shirts you'll be able to find anywhere. And they are giving you 15% off when you go to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's CUTS. Solid color t-shirts are a critical part of any wardrobe. So it could not be more important to have t-shirts that you actually love wearing. And Cuts Clothing has totally changed everything I believed I knew about t-shirts. They've put a ton of thought and research into the comfort and the durability of the shirts that they make. All of my Cuts t-shirts fit me perfectly. They're not itchy. They don't shrink or fade or stretch out over time, which was the case with a lot of my pre-Cuts t-shirts. They are seriously the most comfortable t-shirts I've owned. If you're watching on YouTube right now, I am wearing the crew neck split hem black shirt. Excellent, soft, fits perfectly. Check out everything they have. They've got polo shirts. It's unlike any polo shirt you've ever worn. As soon as you first put on a shirt from Cuts Clothing, you'll be able to tell the difference between this and other shirts you've owned in the past. It's really the only t-shirt worth buying. And you'll get 15% off when you go to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's davidpakman.com/CUTS.